We are culturally conditioned to believe wealth requires a massive, sudden catalyst. We assume millionaires are built on six-figure salaries, tech startups, or sudden windfalls. David had none of those advantages. He worked a completely average retail job, lived paycheck to paycheck, and often struggled just to make his rent. Then he made a decision that seemed entirely insignificant. He committed to putting aside exactly $5 every single day. When he told his friends, they simply laughed. $5 is barely enough for a cup of coffee. Our modern formula for extreme wealth relies on a massive influx of cash. By that standard, David's microscopic daily habit was a mathematical guarantee of failure. This chart shows why they mocked him. Saving $5 daily for a year yields $1,825. Projected over a 50-year working life, you accumulate a maximum of $91,250. Scaling out reveals the true problem. $91,250 is a fraction of a million. There's a massive gap. Yet, David did cross the $1,000,000 mark. Calculating wealth as simple savings multiplied by time fails to explain how he got there. This math only looks impossible if you assume the $5 stays $5. To reach the million, the equation has to change from simple addition to multiplication. David refused to simply hoard cash in a jar. After a few months of saving, he began depositing his money into the financial markets. By investing the money, he introduced a new variable, compound interest. This is the process where the money you save begins to earn its own return. The baseline shows normal savings. The second line shows invested money. For years, they run perfectly parallel. This flat stretch is where most quit. Despite daily sacrifices, the reward is negligible. The math works, but results remain invisible. The true barrier to building wealth is the psychological endurance required to survive this flat, unrewarding beginning of an exponential curve. Eventually, a mechanical shift occurs. The interest generated by investments grows large enough that it starts producing its own substantial returns, independent of David's $5 contributions. Now, the graph steepens. The invested total pulls away from the savings baseline, rocketing toward the $1,000,000 mark. Shading the area under the curve reveals the mechanics. The tiny bottom sliver is David's saved cash. The vast volume above is pure compounding interest. In this late stage, David's daily habit is no longer the driver of his growth. His portfolio expands in the background, requiring no extra effort from him. Extreme wealth is driven more by the duration of the investment than the size of the daily contribution. Decades after his friends laughed at his lunch money strategy, the mathematics finished their work. David logged into his account and watched his balance cross $1,000,000. He never inherited an estate. He never built a tech company, and he remained an average earner working a standard job for his entire career. Waiting for a sudden financial windfall is a gamble most people lose. Leaning into a disciplined micro-habit leverages an established mathematical law. Reaching $1,000,000 doesn't require a massive salary. It just requires finding your equivalent of $5, putting it to work, and allowing enough time for the math to take over.